Hello, welcome to the Sharpest Teeth. I am Saturn and I am tarot reader. That's what we're doing here today. We're gonna read some tarot. I was called to use the Goblin Market Tarot and I'm not super familiar with this deck. I have only used it a couple times. And I was having trouble with getting the info for what I should do this reading about. But being called to a deck that I'm not super familiar with kind of has me thinking maybe getting out of your comfort zone, trying new things can be good for you, opening up your perspectives a little bit, just shifting. They're also kind of unwieldy. My hands are very small. But it's kind of a big deck, so getting, and there are a lot that want to come through already. So the goblins definitely have stuff to say today. I'm gonna go with this one that fell on the floor. The dark one in reverse. This looks like the devil. A trickster, but a fun trickster, as above so below. And we're looking at some patterns here that have been coming to the surface. I believe some shadows coming to light for you that are almost starting to control the narrative here. Just getting surrounded by it, just being surrounded by this energy, right? Dredging up the past, making everything about you. Not in a positive way, but not in a negative way either. Again, I think that there is, I don't know why I said again, I haven't even said anything yet. I believe that there is a huge lesson here, and the number 13 is an auspicious number as well. It could be lucky or unlucky. There's like a lot of potential here for you to discover something, like using this as a guide for where you're meant to be going. It's almost like letting your no's lead you to your yeses, right? Like, maybe you don't know what feels good. Maybe you don't know what you want. But it's pretty easy to know what you don't want. And so that's what I'm talking about with that, is seeing the things, seeing the contrary, getting the contrast. I also, with the contrary, it's like being contrarian also. Like, maybe there's a little bit of playfulness that you've left behind and could be turning nasty or could have been misinterpreted by people in the past. And so it's like you're letting that change your behavior because you're like, oh, well, I find being contrarian to be really fun, and I don't even think that it's that controversial or harmful, and I think there are ways to be playfully contrarian, and there are ways that it can be more hurtful and harmful. And I also think that I heard let the cards fall where they may. Maybe those just aren't your people, and only you know what feels good for you, right? Sometimes it's fun to be the trickster. Sometimes it's fun to be the playful little riddler. And only you know what it is that feels good. Only you know what feels right and authentic for you. And sometimes we get feedback from others that is helpful and helps us see our patterns. And sometimes we get feedback from others that is just reflecting more of their own hurt and stuff that's coming up. And sometimes it's both. And sometimes we don't see it. But with this, I do believe there is a lot of playfulness and integration of your shadow, of your whatever, your spirits. There's like mean spirits and good spirits, and like we all can exist within it, and it can be fun and flirty, and it can be mean and nasty, you know, and there is a time and place for all of that, I think. We also have the Four of Crowns. There is a protective energy here. There is even like the position that this goblin is in right there is very protective. I do believe that this is some trauma, some childhood trauma surfacing and wanting to like hoard away, stow away, kind of like, I'm getting this image of like curling up to protect yourself, but also seeing that as you're protecting something so much that you have hidden it even from yourself, and you don't see how that is coloring your actions, your choices, and your beliefs even. And have a candle going, and it's really, really going. It's like period. It's like boom, boom. Yes, that's what's happening. So what I'm seeing for this is like getting into the spirit of generosity and giving stuff away. Giving stuff away. I'm sure you have a plethora of things that you don't need, and it's just ending up as clutter around you. And this was a message that I've been getting for the past couple of hours, of very much of just like, it's time to let go and give stuff away. And there is maybe a part of you that you're like, in this economy, maybe I should sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe I should keep it in case I need it for later. But there's very much a like spreading out, a release that is necessary. Not necessarily like a sacrifice, but there is like, when you've spent so long protecting yourself, when you start to open up, you start to feel really vulnerable. I'm also seeing the somatic work of like really scrunching in and then going, spreading all the way out, and then just scrunching it in, and then spreading all the way out. And doing that as a practice could be really helpful to find some equilibrium in this energy that's coming up. Okay. And we have the Lone Fairy. The Lone Fairy. This is the Hermit of this deck. Hello. There he is. It's interesting how they have their arm raised like that. Like they're in salutation to the critters around them, to the other creatures around them. And they're trusting that they're on the right path. And I do believe that we are all on the correct path. I don't believe in not being on the right path, because every path leads us to where we are and to where we will be. Not super helpful, right? And there are like directions that we want to go for ourselves, for our goals. But this is almost like, I'm almost seeing like a pause here. Like, not only could that hand be raised in salutation, but it could also be raised in like a halting gesture, like taking a pause. And you know, the Hermit coincides with Virgo, so this could be a time that you are seeking inspiration, that you are seeking guidance and wisdom from someone else, or this could also be a meditation. This could be a recentering for yourself, coming back to yourself so that you can see what truly is valuable and where your value lies and where it comes from, which is, it's within, and that you have everything that you need, actually. And the flames were going way off when I said that. So where does wealth actually come from? And what does wealth actually mean for you? Because wealth is wellness. Wealth is health. Wealth is well-being, right? And again, the flames. So where do you have that in your life? Where do you have well-being, and where do you have kindness and grace in your life? Where do you find that in yourself and from others? And how can that teach you how to move forward from these kind of reminiscing, these old wounds coming up, the embarrassment and shame that comes up, and the wanting to hide away. And it's interesting that it's looking at the lesson of the hermit, kind of showing you where you don't need to hide anymore and where you can give yourself grace and forgiveness and do the same for others as well. That's what's coming up. And there's a lot of these little guys are they're in awe of this. They're like, wow, I can't believe you. You're doing so good. That's amazing. I'm really trying to get this. See, look at them. They all have open mouths. They're like, wow, that's crazy. Look at him. He's in his power. He knows where he's going because his path is illuminated for him. And he's in this purple abyss of darkness here, but he's not even worried about it because he knows exactly where he's going, and he knows who is on his side, and he knows the next step to take. He knows what to do. And he knows that he's been here before. Though he hasn't treaded this exact same path, he knows that he has treaded more perilous paths than this and has made it through unscathed. So that's pretty cool. And then we're going to the Knight of Platters here with all these pairs coming up. All these pairs. The Knight of Platters. I thought they were lemons at first because they're very yellow. And I thought it was kind of giving lemongrab with the long nose and the armor. But it's very much not that. It's very much, everything is chill, everything is cool. I got my stuff, you got your stuff. There's plenty to go around. There's plenty to share. There's plenty that we can do here together. There's plenty that we can make here together. And I have my share and you have your share. And that's what matters, right? There's plenty to go around. There's no need to be in this scarcity mindset, right? Love is infinite. Love is abundant. Everything that we need is fairly abundant, even in the face of dwindling resources and hoarding, right? We don't want to become that which we hate out of fear. And the one thing that will help that along is acting in a scarcity mindset, acting from a place of fear, acting from a place of uncaring about other people's feelings and uncaring about our own feelings, right? There needs to be a balance between those two things. What else? What other messages do the goblins have for us today? 10 of Wands and the Lord of Platters. Yeah, things are going to get moving. Things are going to get moving. I think once we let go of that fear, when we get out of our own heads and into our bodies, out of our own little narratives and self-obsessions, that's when the abundance comes to us, right? That's when the movement starts to go faster and the abundance comes, and we're like, oh, right, I forgot I'm in charge of this, right? Like I'm in control of the show here. I know how to have power over my thoughts. I know how to master my perceptions, right? It's that reminder and that swiftness of going. And it's like, almost like you've been waiting for it for so long, but you needed to go through what you're going through now in order to get there and be able to actually hold it and be in that Lord of Platters instead of just being in the Knight of Platters of like, and you have to go through the Knight of Platters to get to the Lord of Platters, right? Like there's this almost like you're not enjoying what you have, and you need to learn how to enjoy what you have. You need to learn how to enjoy the lessons that you've learned and integrate them and go through that depression and adversity and fear and self-holding, right, in order to get to the, oh wait, I remember, actually there's enough to go around, right? I remember, it's the expanding and contracting that keeps happening, right? So right now I think we're in this contracting phase, but we're kind of wiggling our way out into the expansion, and I do believe that the expansion is going to be great because of how much contracting there has been. There will be an equal and opposite reaction. Remember what I said at the beginning, as above, so below, as within, so without. And it's just another lesson to learn again. It's one of those lessons that we're learning over and over again. And I do believe that like through this lone fairy phase is when we get to finally integrate that lesson and go with the flow and like learn and also be able to expand and harness it for the betterment of everyone around us, right? Because it's not just taking care of ourselves, it's about taking care of everyone around us. The Knight of Platters is sharing in the abundance, is like, that's the whole, oh right, there's enough to go around. I have what I need and you have what you need, and we can all eat and we can all be fed and we can all party and have fun, and it's fine. We can all have our lessons individually and together. And then the Ten of Wands is like, it's like adding fire to that lesson and expanding it and saying, right, and you can also be the Lord of Platters. You can have all of that abundance and you can distribute it as much as you need, and you can help take care of other people when you have excess. And that kind of takes me back to the beginning of like giving stuff away, right? And making sure that you're doing it with the right energy, right? Not begrudgingly, not based on fear, not in a way that won't feel good to you, but just like with ease and with happiness and with joy. And you're showing the universe like, yes, I trust that more will come to me. I trust that more will come to me. I trust that there is an abundance of things. I trust that I can offer others the grace that I've been offered. And I can offer myself the grace that others want me to have, right? And the forgiveness as well. And I'm getting this like, I'm getting this heavy resistance around that too. Like, I think that there is a resistance, a resentment kind of hanging us up here. So I'm wondering, how can we work through that resentment outside of this? Is there anything more that we can do outside of what I've already laid out here in order to release that person of any wrongdoing that they may have done us in the past? I just pulled a lot of cards, and the Fairy Queen is on the bottom here, so there's definitely like a large forgiving nature here as well. It's like all of God's children. I don't know why that's the phrase that came up, but that is the phrase that came up. So maybe there is some religious trauma, or maybe you have a religious background and you're like, yeah, we're all of God's children, and that could be a piece that really helps you to let go. Some of us believe that like we are all one. We're all just like having a shared consciousness in separate consciousnesses all at the same time. There's like a lot going on. There's a lot of different beliefs. These are the cards that came out when I asked if there's a way, and I'm wondering how shuffled these are, but we have 11, the secret way. I think this is not for me to tell you which way to go, right? This is a way that you will find on your own. This is a way that will reveal itself to you as you walk the path toward forgiveness. Going into maybe a new place. Like I said before at the very beginning of this reading, trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone, and that's when you find the secret passageways. I'm also getting this like, more will be revealed to you if you spend some time in nature and like listening to the secrets that Mother Nature has for you. And kind of again going back to the Fairy Queen, there's like this very mother energy coming through of this unconditional love and forgiveness coming through. Let the earth hold you. Let the earth show you how to forgive. And the upside downer, the Hanged Man. This is where you will learn whatever it is that you will need to learn. Again, more secrets, more paths to walk down. Something that can only be revealed to you on your journey, and also through great sacrifice. This could be sacrifice of a perspective that you're holding on to, sacrifice of a belief that you're holding on to, sacrifice of control, of going in the direction that you think you need to go, or maybe this resentment that you're holding on to gives you a false sense of control of the narrative. And this is about letting the gods control the narrative, letting them show you how it's done, and letting them grant you the powers that they are willing to bestow upon you, and not being in control of that. You don't really get to control what your talents are, right? Like, we can practice and hone skills for sure, but there are also things that every one of us is just naturally talented at, right? God-given gifts that we don't really have control over that. And some of us embrace it, and some of us go on a different path, and that's totally fine. But again, I'm seeing, because the secret way comes right before the upside downer, it's 11 and then 12, right? I'm seeing this like, this is the journey that you're meant to go on, and letting the earth show you what it is that you are needing to let go of. And then we have the 10 of Platters. This is a very dancing guy. It's also kind of giving this like juggling energy, right? He's got a lot of plates in the air at this time. And again, there's this energy of like letting them fall where they may, right? But right now, kind of in this like, oh, but I don't have to let any of them fall. They're all up in the air. I got 2 in my hands, and the rest are up in the air, and I can just dance and do my jig, have a fun time. And then I'm seeing like reality is kind of crashing down a little bit. Reality is crashing down. Things might not be exactly how you thought they were before. And I think you also might be shown kind of like how it is that you got to this point where you've moved on from the 10 of Platters to the Knight of Platters to the Lord of Platters, right? But there is maybe a revelation or a vision that you have of your past that shows you a more neutral version, unclouded by your perceptions and your emotions and your, your ego, your self-centeredness that comes through when feelings are hot, when feelings arise. This might be like an aha moment for you. And then we have the fairy wagon. Oop. This is, there's a realization that you don't necessarily have to do this on your own. You may find some people who understand where you're coming from and who have a place for you in their troop, right? And can help you go in the direction that you're meant to go, right? This is the Chariot card. This is the 7 card, and it's very soul oriented. It's very much like, I need to do what is aligned for me. I'm hearing like self-acceptance as well. Self-acceptance. And once you're in that mode of self-acceptance, because it's like so much easier to accept yourself and forgive yourself and give yourself all of this grace and everything that I talked about, once you see something clearly, and you can give that to others as well, and you can let go of that resentment. And you kind of also get perspective as well. I'm seeing like there's this feeling of like beating a dead horse over and over again. And when you're in a group, when you're in a good solid group like this, they're like, hey, you don't need to do that anymore. Like, it's time to bury it. It's time to leave it and let it be done, because it has come to its natural end. It's ran its course, and there's no moving forward if you are just stuck on it, right? And the 5 of Platters, yeah. And this is like where you can actually look at like what it is that you have instead of what it is that you don't have anymore, right? You get to finally partake in what you can give others as well. You can finally accept your own gifts. I hope that made sense. It felt a little bit roundabout. Felt a little bit wibbly wobbly. And I think the goblins have said their piece. Is there anything more? I'm going to pull one more from the top. we have interesting. The Six of Cups in reverse. Again, a good reminder to look at where it is that you're coming from, right? Like, what are your motivations? Take a look at them. Take a look at your motivations of why you are doing what you are doing. And look at, is it serving you? How is it serving you? Because if you're doing it, it's probably serving you in one way or another. Does that move you toward authenticity? Does that move you toward your soul purpose? Can you tell if it is a yes or a no? Can you tell if it feels good or doesn't feel good? And also being wary of receiving gifts from others. You're allowed to say no. It's a big theme in this reading. I said it before. Your no's lead you to your yeses. You don't have to accept everything that's offered to you. And you're going to need to hone your skills in order to understand where it is that you are and what you should accept, because there are things that you should accept eventually, right? Can't just say no to everything. You have to learn how to get to that fairy queen and learn how to say yes. Learn how to receive. I think there's a discomfort around receiving. So practice giving first. See how it feels. Make sure it's coming from a good place. Check your motivations, check your motivations, check your motivations. That is like the big message that the goblins had coming through the last bit with the Six of Cups in reverse. It's the only reversal. It's the only card that's in reverse. Oh, other than the dark one. Oh, so we're beginning and ending with reversals. Interesting. Interesting here. We're moving. These are kind of coming on the same plane here. They're coming from the same playing field. They are facing the same direction. They have the same perspective. And it's about integrating, checking your motivations, checking where you're coming from, checking your stories, looking at your inner dialogue, but not so much that you can't hear what other people are saying. I believe that you can move on. I believe that you have a strong desire to achieve your goals, and that will help you to make the moves that are necessary to continue on your journey in the right direction with the speed and the help of the Chariot and all your friends. And that's my reading, and I hope that it was helpful to you. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me out by subscribing, and let me know how this resonated for you. I will see you again soon.